Hi, it's Ray Regan here. I wanted to talk today about the two stories that came out this week. One that came out today um, with Georgia, and the other one about Pennsylvania with the involving the elections. The one that came out earlier this week was about the whistleblower who talked about how he drove a truck full of ballots from New York to Pennsylvania, which is crazy, especially. I'm sure that a lot of people haven't heard it. If you're just listening to left-wing news, since they like to call themselves the mainstream news, but really they're just the left-wing news, and that's all. You're not getting none of this from that side of the aisle, which is sad because just report the story. The whole thing about it is why people on the right get annoyed is just do your job and report this story. Here's the story. The whistleblower. I'm going to show. I'm reading it from PJ Media, and the whistleblower goes, "I drove thousands of ballots from New York to Pennsylvania. On Tuesday, a truck driver testified that he had driven thousands of ballots from Bethpage, New York to Lancaster, PA, 2 weeks before Election Day." And that's just it's crazy, especially um, you combine this with what happened in Philly um, with them not allowing the poll watchers to actually watch, or keeping them in the building. They could be in the building, but they weren't allowed to actually watch, which is kind of ridiculous that the judges ruled on this. Now, look, listen. Um, if I'm to be honest, I'll be happy if Trump does pull this off. But at the end of the day, look, we need to clean up the elections. This stuff can't be going on. And if I know they say, oh, it couldn't change the elections, but these are the people that got caught. So that's the whole thing. We need to be able to eliminate as much fraud in our election process as it can be. Look at the next story is also what happened in Georgia, where it goes. I'm reading this from the Daily Wire. Suitcase video shown during Georgia election hearing sparks reaction from Governor Kemp. And it goes here. There's a security cameras footage from election day presented during the hearing generated buzz on social media and caught the attention of Kemp. Allegations and corresponding video appear to reveal a Fulton County election supervisor pulling suitcase filled with ballots from under a table after poll workers were allegedly told to leave. Now this is really nuts. If you see the video, I'll put a link in this description so you can see the video. But you see that the table, they didn't touch the table all day till after everybody left, and they grabbed some ballots that were under the table. I mean, it's insane. And like I said, if they're just going, these are just the situations that were caught, and we need to just clean this up so like that we don't have to worry about these things. That's the problem. The problem is people doing these things. It's not this. I know people want to think it's like this whole grand conspiracy, but it doesn't have to be a grand conspiracy. It could just be, certain counties doing these type of shenanigans and doing this dirty work. And there doesn't have to be some grand conspiracy. Just that, one county here, another county there, 10,000 votes here, 15,000 votes there. And that could swing an election. This is not just about the presidential election. You could it could also affect the down ballot races. Like in Georgia, look at all the stuff that happened. What if we don't? It could have been, let's say, the difference between the two runoffs that are going to go on in January, and there not being any runoff, or it could just be one runoff. We don't know. But this is the problem with election integrity. And if you can't verify signatures, if you don't have an ID, people want to say that's voter suppression, but it's nonsense. I remember was it R.E. Fletcher did a video where he went to Harlem asking black people about if they have IDs and all that. And it's really, you want to talk about racism. I think it's more racism that, white people and the white liberals and leftists that want to say that, having an ID to vote is racist. I need an ID to open a bank. I need an ID to go buy beer. I need an ID if I want to buy a cigar. There, so many different things that you need an ID for, but they want to say you don't need an ID to vote. Come on, that's ridiculous. It's like that's our most important civic duty is to go vote. It's like I can't go I get a jury duty notice. I have to show my ID to show that you can see who I am when I go do jury duty. So what's the difference me to go vote? It's the same difference. I got to prove to the government I am who I say I am. So we need to clean these things up. We need to investigate this. It's not just about Trump. I understand you people on the left that you hate this guy and you hate him so much that you're willing to ignore what these instances of voter fraud. And these are just the people who are caught. Like I said, this is just the people who are caught. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that, like I said, it shouldn't matter that it's Trump. Hearing these things and seeing these things should upset you just as much as it upsets me. It's not about the candidate. It's about, free and fair elections. There's nothing fair if you have these people doing this stuff in the middle of the night, switching ballots, switching votes. That's why we have to, that's why it's great that there's a video camera there. We need that video camera should be there. It should only be live. So like that, if you want to, there's somebody looking at it at all time. So like that, because this, it should be it doesn't have to be up close. So like that, you can't see the ballots and everything, but you should be able to see the room where the ballots are being counted, at the very least, just to ensure that none of these crazy things are going on. That there has to be ways that we could get an election as fraud proof as possible. And any ideas? I mean, that's one of my ideas. Have all these polling stations with cameras, so like that, it should be recorded. Maybe it should be broadcast live. You could do that. You could, like I said, you could record it just so like that you have record. There's no way. You don't want no Epstein. You don't want the cameras to Epstein on us either. But so maybe have a couple of cameras so like that. There's always some sort of feed that's being recorded. With that being said, let me know in your comments what you think and what your solutions might be. With that being said, have a good evening.